afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We're off here to another exciting 1 vs 1 with me, your host, Imperial Dane. Master Propaganda, Heroes like Defender of the Fatherland on Crossroads. Here from the December balance preview. So we got another one of those matches. There's a lot of them, so you know, might as well cast them. We got here in the North Luciano, fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland. The 7th Panzer Division with Lightning War, Blitzkrieg, and Storm Doctrine. Versus in the south, we got Vonivan, fighting for the Soviet Union, Socialism. And the 5th Guards Tank Corps with Lend-Lease here, now with the M4C Sherman requiring a mechanized armor company to be built. Disc also slightly nerfed. So I'll be interested to see how that works out here. Vonivan aiming for the conscript heavy build there, obviously to try and get the most out of the new improved conscripts. And Luciano here going for more standard Canadian MG42 start here on the Crossroads 1.1, which has this house slightly moved away here from the cuff point, so it's more easy to set up a defense of it. But wire sandbags there, nice little way of doing it. So only complete lock shot your opponent from using any cover around here unless it's light. So that should make it easy for Luciano to defend it. MG42 moves towards the center here for the fatherland. Eastern fuel pumping support engineers. Contra rushing up there again. Note Vonivan basically sending his first builder unit, whatever, towards the vital point, and then he uses the follow-up infantry to actually connect the points leading up to it. I think this is a rather efficient, capping order, and I think so, something that is very recommendable for most players. Though again, for more inexperienced players and new players, it might be a bit more dangerous to go for it, but still pretty efficient. 3rd conscript on there for Vonivan. Engineers conscript work together in the east, securing the missions in the south as well. And we can see Luciano's not quite pulling the same here. Not quite. He's focusing more on the center here, though, so that does slow down his capturing of the points towards here. So in that sense, less efficient, allowing Vonivan to get a fuel lead here. Quite notably there over Luciano and the 7th Panzer Division. MG42 in the house here. Repositioning the MG42, interestingly enough. Perhaps worried there's a bit of a blind spot here. More conscript weather for Vonivan, going for 4 conscript build, more sandbags and barbed wire here. Shifting towards here, anticipating a bigger push towards here, shifting machine gun over to respond to that. Quick move there by Luciano. Gonna need to take man losses, the MG42 setting up. They still need to turn about the window. And looks like he's moving upon east and then secure territory. They connect the territory, they conscript under here fire. 1200 rounds per minute, suppressing those Russian bastards. Interesting down mines. An interesting spot there for Vonivan to lay down a mine. Not really what I expect, but for example, push friend in from just pushing down the eastern side, or catch a light vehicle from Luciano moving there, or catch something on retreat. So it's an interesting mine there from Vonivan. Interesting mine. Definitely not one you'd expect here. Engineers stalling up and holding up Luciano's force. He's using his machine gun aggressive, but in this case it gets punished as Vonivan here uses the conscript's high mobility to just quickly catch Luciano off guard. Here's he left the center then completely unguarded. A bit of a tactical error here, which Vonivan was very swiftly able to exploit there. Conscript towards the Grenadiers here. Grenadiers have to fire back. Get as much damage in as they can for the father, and needs to get these troops back in action as well. Should probably move towards the infantry company and then shift them down here. They seem to have been forgotten by Luciano. That is less good. He needs to get those back in action. I would suggest getting to the houses to get behind the conscripts maybe. Grenadiers are being swarmed though, and they're going in the MG42 here. Grenadiers moving up and maybe try and flank around the other side. And there you go, Grenadiers squad push back from the cough point. MG42 we've got a lot of conscripts in there from Vonivan. He's MG42 set up fast. Grenadiers are setting up, getting behind, but that might not quite work out either. MG42 setting up here and forced to retreat here. Basically too many conscripts around here to just safely fire away. So right now Luciano is under some severe pressure as Vonivan just launches an all-out assault here with the conscripts, and it is certainly proving to be highly effective here versus Luciano. Then he's taking man losses and engineers. Conscripts being shifted towards these, grabbing the munitions here. He's going for the cough one, he's hoping to that way slow down Vonivan and his resource income. That's definitely one way of doing it, and it works at least for now, but the problem is once it gets this point connected, since he's got every part of the map, otherwise he can connect it through that. So that's a bit unfortunate. He needs to get that cough point back, in which fact he can then cut it, actually no, it'll be connected through the center victory point. He needs to get that one as well. So he needs to be a bit faster about this, Luciano, otherwise for now he's going to get a massive fuel amount. I mean, he's already getting 38 fuel per minute. Again, it's part of Crossroads. Comes there though, I know they're actually not quite caught. That would have been interesting if they had been. But there you go, forced weight. MG42 Grenadiers, Pioneers charging 40. Luciano's quick himself shifting the Grenadiers towards here. Going to basically sneak behind Vonivan's lines and try to do damage that way. MG42 caught by Engineer squads. Grenadiers made support. No doctrine yet from Luciano. And we got the fuel point here being grabbed with sandbags being laid down there by Vonivan's men. Going to make it hard there for Luciano to get back the fuel point. Very nasty work there by Vonivan. Very nasty work. There you go, comes going to fire there from the MG42, force a retreat. Back here, troops oorahing out. Oorah! Why are we oorahing? I don't know, just go oorah! Alright, oorah! Oh wait, movement going on there. Moving in towards so the comes going to stand back in. Grabbing the eastern fuel point though to compensate for that, but he's to get back a lot of territory, deny as much of Vonivan as possible, and he's succeeding somewhat. But still, he's going to be behind, and he's also now first able to take up. And in theory, Vonivan could, well, he's not take up, so it's going to take him time to get up as well. Using his machine gun there aggressively again, in this case, punish for it as Vonivan charges comes towards the center. And here comes the Grenadiers. Actually should not be moving the Grenadiers up close to the conscripts. That is where the conscripts are now even better than before with the Grenadiers. I mean, already there, the conscripts would have the advantage up close, but with the changes, they definitely now have the edge over the Grenadiers up close. So, moving the Grenadiers up to the conscripts to get cover is actually a tactically bad idea there by Luciano. Bunker up there. Grenadiers being shifted about a bit. Important support here. Need to be fast about it. There you go. Conscripts almost suppressed. And there you go. Squad held down. Grenadiers falling back here from the centre, and the fuel pond there still in Vonivan's hand. In the west, bunker almost done. Pioneers reinforcing. Light Mechanized Company going out there for Luciano, and the 7th Panzer Division continued fighting here. Comes coming up for the front. Here might be a spot in time for the info to turn about. It's going to take a bit of time then for the gun to traverse around. And there you go, reloading. Put time in there by Vonivan then to attack, and quick card past it. Grenadiers being hit with a second Molotov, forcing them away as well. So looking a bit rough for Luciano. Again, Vonivan's gone for the supporting company, and he's also going for the Dishka. He's probably going for the supporting company since he wants to be able to call in a field gun if necessary, and maybe a mortar. In this case, the Mambo did not get the Grenadiers in retreat, but the conscripts might just be able to do so. Light machine gun on the way for Luciano's Grenadier. Hard tested here by Vonivan's forces. M42 they have to support them in the west. He should get some light vehicle thing out here from the Light Mechanized Company as fast as possible. That way pressure him, and mine goes off there, wiping half the Pioneer squad. Bit of a loss there for Luciano. It's going to slow down his advance. Now going Engineer squad set running. Nothing further going on the Light Mechanized Company. Comes when they're taking minor losses. MG42 moving up to support the Grenadiers. In the centre, more moving in. And there you go, Dishka defending the eastern fuel point, having a hard time here. There's the conscripts there, slowly whittling them down, but overall a strong defense position there for Vonivan. Molotov off against the Grenadiers in the centre there, and in the east pushed back as well. Luciano is struggling here versus Vonivan, who is just excelling with a strong early game, which is something the Wehrmacht has always struggled with, conscripts buffed or not, and it certainly hasn't gotten any easier now that the conscripts are better. Living suppressed by them before 2 here as they push up through the centre. Comes the Grenadiers there, push to their limits. Medic bunker almost done. He's going for a mortar now to help counter some more of the dug-in Russian units and the likes there, but I do think a scout code would better just give Luciano more mobility versus Vonivan, which is what he really needs. Meanwhile, Vonivan taking up, they could in fact try and rush for the mechanized armour company, in which case you can actually get out an M4C Sherman faster than you normally would be able to. So that could actually be a problem there for Luciano if he doesn't cause some greater shift there in how the battlefield is so far structured. And there you go, Dishka flanking behind them before the Pioneers. No force with immediate range to sort of really support here. Roughing it off. Oh, retreat here, and force retreat right past. Ah, maybe not, but hand mortar rounds land there on him. Machine gun crew. Fuel drop in here from Vonivan. He's clearly, I think, aiming here for the mechanized armor company Arash. Almost got the heavy machine gun crew, but it did successfully escape here. The wrath and clutches of Luciano. We got Fletcher mounts being laid down there, further making it harder there for Luciano to push ahead. Fuel drops there inbound. MG42 there probably should not be sitting up in the house if he's got no idea what's on the other side. In this case, conscripts with their incendiary frangible devices. Need to pull that MG42 up, comes to suppress them less by a quick burst here. Mortar moving up further here in the west, moving up against the Pioneers, who are very much pushed towards the limits. Still nothing out of the Light Mechanized Company here from Luciano. He's definitely going to go for a Pack 40 soon because Vonivan is definitely going to be pushing for that M4C Sherman as rapidly as humanly possible. Barking it off against engineers, landing, wiping out half the unit. T-70 for Vonivan, so in a bit of a surprise move, he's not immediately pushing for a M4C Sherman rush. He's first going to go for the T-70 light tank capture it. The Luciano might in fact be able to stabilize before he can get out the M4C Sherman, which is certainly, I suppose, a worry here. We shall have to see how Luciano performs them. But there you go, leaves the mortar exposed. Oh, there's a machine gun there to cover it, though. They can't still make food thanks to Ura. They do get suppressed. Need to get the mortar out of there, though. Mortar off in time. And Disco there pushing back the condition to manage to grab the fuel pawn there, grab the western fuel pawn as well. So Luciano should in fact be able to turn the fuel race a bit around here against Vonivan for a bit. But now the problem is out here for Luciano. The T-70 and Luciano has no anti-tank weapons. Not even telemines haven't had time to lay down here, so he is very much completely caught off guard here by the T-70 light tank. That of course is a massive problem. And there you go, as soon as it's done though, Vonivan sets about getting the mechanized armor company up and will then go for the M4C Sherman. He's also beginning to lay down telemines, but at this point it's pretty much too late. He's going to have to panther fast and hope he can maybe take it out with a Pack 40. And these are the conscripts. More moving in. There we go, healing enforcement, setting up for a big push into the eastern front, not trying to defend his western holdings. There you go, holding up Vonivan's men as they plunge themselves at the German lines. We can do this, Petrov! Don't worry, their bullets are just magic things, illusions. I'm pretty sure they're real. Counter pushing up against there in the east. Really big push here. Gets their machine gun supported by the T-70 light tank. Rather reckless assault there by Luciano. But he's almost getting there. The heavy machine gun crew catching a negative cover there. And for some reason he's leaving his pioneers to attack the T-70 light tank, which seems like a bit weird. Troop ceiling reinforcing. No takeover there for Luciano. He obviously hasn't had time or resources to sort of do anything serious there. So that rather... Oh, he's not going for the M4C Sherman right away. He could, but he's first going for T-34-76. So Vonivan is just intent on just pushing pressure and momentum as hard as possible on Luciano, and is lastly just going to go for the fastest options. And he's sure that Luciano does not get a lot of time to push back. Not also because that Luciano is actually doing some harm there to Vonivan. And lastly, Vonivan wants more support for him fast. There you go, Pack 40 and the T-70 light tank. Coming up, they almost got the T-70. And there you go. Squad Pushkin there getting absolutely obliterated here by the Germans. Hey, machine gun fire, flamethrower fire just cuts them down to half size in a matter of seconds. But Vonivan there brings up the pride of the Soviet tank force of the T-34-76. In the far west, coming up behind the MD-42. Nice flank here by Vonivan. Very good flank, in fact. Forcing Luciano there to retreat. Luciano Bowie finally taken up. It's going to take him time to get out any armor. He is very much behind Vonivan there in the fuel races. And we'll probably have to go for a second Pack 40 to buy himself more time. MD-42 in the Disco. Disco opening up the pioneers of the gun you see. We're dealing with conscripts charging straight at them. A long chain of machine guns here, medium and light. Well, heavy and... Well, technically the Germans designated the machine guns when they mounted on this like a heavy machine gun, but obviously, by modern terminology, this would not be a heavy machine gun. But German terminology certainly had it. In fact, the 8cm mortar was, before they got the 120mm mortar, designated as a heavy mortar by the German army. That sort of highlights more, you know, less class and just sort of how the Germans utilised them, I think. But he needs to get up support more caution as possible. A doctor there wouldn't be a half-bet choice for Luciano, though. None of the doctrines at the moment particularly help him. The probably best bet would actually be lightning water and get out some relief infantry. That way soak up some of the losses with Ostruben. Maybe get some tactical movement off as well. That's probably the best suggestion that could sort of come here doctrinally. So Paul McCott, M4 needs to retreat forwards to get swapped ahead of the disc. T-70 pushed back by the Pack 40. But in the west, the T-34s make it difficult for Luciano to gain any ground. So now there's 2 tanks out, and Luciano's got only a single Pack 40. So Luciano's certainly struggling to catch up with Vonivan after Vonivan's just early gains. And Vonivan certainly highlighting to an extent how you play the ration. He's gaining an early advantage, and then you sort of try and push it all as much as possible with fast tech and fast armor. Walter approaching there. Retreat 2 very slowly. Well, he can go for a Stug soon, and I'd probably recommend a Stug here more than anything, because he's going to get outgunned no matter what, and the Stug's the best sort of built for it, as long as he doesn't get swarmed too easy quickly, with its high rate of fire, decent range, and of course, a reasonable price point. Going back the MB42, Pack following up in the east. He can go for the Stug now. The Sturmgeschütz. Got a smoking down the machine gun. Very good response to Luciano. Can't deal with the machine gun immediately, but he still wants to be able to do stuff around it, so he basically just smokes it, essentially suppressing it with smoke. Very good move there by Luciano. Sadly doesn't mean anything to follow up, so maybe push past it, but overall I like the idea and how he did it here, so that's pretty good. Sternos on the Stug. Is he playing for a Panzer IV here? That would definitely be a bit riskier. That would help with the infantry, but not so much with the armor, which I definitely designate as the bigger threat there from Vonivan. He definitely, though, needs to go for something soon before he gets crushed. And there you go. Luciano seems to just realise if he was playing for the Panzer IV, he has to go for the Stug instead. If he wasn't just playing for the Stug in the first place. It's hard to say. They obviously can't, read Luciano's mind. He just have to make educated guesses based on sort of what's happening there. Got the T-70 and they continue to terrorise German infantry. Successfully pushed back the T-34. But no direct hits, but still, a few shots flying around it, convincing the crew that there are better places to be. Sergei, I've heard the western fuel point is great this time of year. Yes, let us move over to inspect it. But there's a lot less German anti-tank weapons. Trying to get a wipe there with a Molotov on the Dream Squad is definitely an audacious move there before now. He might, of course, just be trying things out for the hell of it. Who knows? Certainly stands out. Got the Stug moving out. Here's Stug 3G. Pinned up machine on the way. Now the T-34 for Vonivan. And a Katyusha. So he's gone from Lend-Lease, but he's actually not using it except for the disc. There's so far no sign of the M4C Sherman. I don't think he's been using the constant repair abilities either. Might be a bit more wrong on that one. But certainly it was a bit strange then to not commit to any M4C Sherman to prevent for the doctrine. Then again, he might do so once he gets hit by Stugs. Telemark's being laid down there. This time Luciano's trying to set up here for the longer fight and maybe, try and protect any retreat for the Stugs. Pioneer's getting blasted with the T-34. Pack 40 Stug needs again to deal with it. Almost got the second one ready though. And there we go. Pack 40 opening up. Stug opening up. Taking it down to half health. Should be able to pursue and maybe knock it out. Maybe. They still need to be careful here. Can't be retreating MB4 to advancing. And there you go. T-34 ramming it. A bold move there. Starting this Stug, damaging the engine and costing him a T-34-76. That seemed a bit unnecessary there by Vonivan, to be honest, considering he's got nothing to exploit this. Oh well. On the other hand, Luciano's got nothing to immediately repair the Stug with, so it might actually work out. But anyway, infantry advancing, growing points. That might explain it. They got the same hotkey. So he basically just popped the one for the M4C Sherman. That's why he's been getting T-34s. At least one other. That explains it. Wow. Now that's not something you can fault Vonivan for. That is not something you can fault Vonivan for. And this was a T-40 conscripts there, and got the heavy machine gun providing covering fire. Grabbing the fuel pond there. Stug almost good to go. He'll probably have to go for another one soon enough. Vonivan can now go for an M4C Sherman. Though he has to press the button manually. You have to push in the right button, Vonivan. Go T-Federal straight into the Stu. That's definitely not working out well there for Vonivan now. Even target weak point off, but in this case not quite fast enough. Stu here trying to best without maneuver. Looking a bit rough. He needs to separate them so that either can cover the first one. But there we go. In this case, the terrain helps out a bit. And, oh, back 40 sits up. He rams. Ah! That was close here that Luciano lost his Stug. Sadly, though, he did not support the armoured assault there with infantry, in which case I think Vonivan would have done a lot better. Instead of just rushing in alone, he would have been able to clear up maybe the Pack 4. Then again, there's a lot of machine guns here, so it might have made it a bit more difficult. And lastly, the argument could have made he maybe should have charged his T-34 on his own there. Like that. At least not without some serious support. So, yeah. Going with the T-70 to try and destroy the Stug here. Vonivan's fierceness knows no bounds, and he gets the Stug wiped out. They Molotov in the Pack 40 rear here, and in fact he managed to slightly pull through, so he could have snuck in some conflict support. This might now lose the T-70 to the Germans. Another Stug on the way here. Panzerfaust in the base, but at the same time it's difficult here for Luciano to pursue and destroy it, so he should actually be able to escape with the T-70 away from Luciano's forces. Pack 40 wiped out, their crew by Grenadiers. Constantly in the west being pinned down by the MG42. Luciano still struggling map control wise here versus Vonivan. Big push there by Vonivan. And there you go, controls being wiped out here by mortar and machine gun fire. Flare scene being set off there. But the last man survives. Petrov, the survivor. Stug on the way. And ready for Luciano. And the 7th Panzer Division. Still no doctrine though from Luciano. Keine Doctrine. And for now, there is just not going for any armour. Might have been he's still been occupied with offensive action to replenish his armour losses. And there you go. M4C Sherman on the way there. Emcher as it was known. Gets usual fire against the MG42 by the cut-off point. Going after the T7, the Sturmgeschütz. He wants vengeance for the other Stug blown up. We'll get those assholes and we'll blow them to bits for the Vaterland. And our fallen comrades. And there you go, almost got the T-70, got the Pack 40 from the other side. And there you go. T-70 lit on fire. And here in the west, MG42 gunning down the conscript, getting very close to Vetchi 3. We've got a Grenadier squad all forgotten up north. More fuel drops in there for Vonivan. As he also goes for T-34 from the 6th then. This time it might be intentional. Maybe. In the meanwhile, Stug there bombarding Russian infantry. There you go, getting swarmed by a few conscripts. Grenadiers are being assaulted by engineers with flamethrowers, need to fall out. Got Yuri there with his machine guns, and then sniped not Petro, but Boris. And got another kill there. 4 kills now for the Stug, 3 of them infantry. Conscript charging the Grenadiers here, M4C Sherman down there for Vonivan, and the 5th Guards Tank Corps. He's being pushed back, and there you go. M4C Sherman out, called Emcher because, well, M4C basically can be pronounced like that in Russian. Something like that, anyways. Fun fact. Note that M4C covered both Sherman variations, one with the low velocity 75mm gun and the higher velocity 76mm gun. They received about roughly 2,000 of each, as a side note. Ralph Grenadier in the conscripts, and almost got them, but not quite. Six kills in the street. That one is actually doing kind of well. Disc coming up the west side, MD42 coming here behind a few benches. And go T-34 from 6 running out here for Vonivan. ready to assail the fascists and destroy them with the ultimate fist of Stalin. With Luciano, they're just going for more StuGs. Fun fact, there was an informal sort of organisational bit for Panzer divisions which lasted, I think, until late 1944. After Stalingrad, that is, sort of where they basically sort of, after Stalingrad, each Panzer division was supposed to have one Panzer battalion less. And instead, what they usually got, though, was a StuG brigade, which then gave some access to a full, battalion of StuGs, and maybe some infantry support with those StuGs to then sort of compensate for the loss of that Panzer battalion. So that's a little fun side note. Note, by the way, the Waffen SS was not part of that. If I'm not mistaken, they did not get StuGs like that. Sandbags are started, but the StuG as it moves in furiously for the Faserland. For now, he seems to be setting up for something that he's not just rushing in his armor versus Luciano. Seven kills in the Sturmgeschütz. Second StuG moving in. Pinned back machine away for that one as well. 8 kills. Gonna need something marked out to you though. Got its M4 running to pursue it. In the West, gonna do this with StuG support continues to sort of slowly grind away at the rations. Pack 40 coming up here. Gonna do this light machine gun dropped here for Vonivan's troops. That's definitely bad news there for Luciano. Replacing the losses with more hardened, battle-tried Panzergrenadiere. Second StuG scores its first kill there. And there go Katyusha fire here, trying to catch up any units that are retreating or advancing. And here Disc is slowly being taken out by the StuG, and they're going to be supporting it. E14 to a position. Oh, that's going to get wiped out with the veteran defeat conquerors with an MG42. Tanks holding back here. Troops healing, reinforcing, grabbing the fuel point there, and there you go, going after the isolated StuG there. Good move for now. In this case, looks like a telemann was actually laid down, in which case, good job there by Luciano. But the other tank is still able to go after. There you go, caught here by the StuG and the Panzerfaust Grenadiers. That T-34 is going to be a bit of trouble. We've got a second StuG moving in here. That could result in loss of a T-34 here for Vonivan. You might want to use target weak point here just in case. And apparently they still need to look into being able to ram with a damaged engine. I'm not entirely sure that's supposed to be able to do it. There you go, T-34. Almost got the StuG though. Almost got it, but the StuG was able to pull through. Pursuing the M4C Sherman here, for now in a bit of a sticky situation there then. Again, lack of engine support for his tanks, proving to be detrimental to his armoured survival. So with this, Luciano is slowly clawing his way back into the game. Also, he's a bit slower than getting replacement tanks out, though he's still maintaining his conscripts, and they're definitely proving themselves to be rather nastier this time around. 11 and 5 kills there, a total of 16 kills. 3 armoured, and, well, the rest infantry. Now, Katyusha Barrage home to wipe from units aside from Luciano's base here. Troops pinned down, and another M4C shown out there for Vonivan. He might want to consider using his support company to get a single mortar just to be able to lay down smoke screens. That would, I think, work great. Versus the StuGs and the Pack 40, basically able to deny them use of their range against Vonivan's tanks and then sort of go in there. Plus, he could then more easily support with infantry because the MG42s would not be able to press them either. So that could sort of be, a double effect there for Vonivan, and I think give him a lot more firepower in the late game. And these are being overwhelmed by Russian machine gun firepower there as they push ahead. Relative points whilst the Luciano is certainly falling behind Vonivan. In the west, MG42 grabbing the fuel point again. Eventually 3 MG42 as 3 engineers. The result is unsurprisingly in favour of the MG42. These two panzers pushed back by the Disc and the conscripts. Also do a lot of damage, and the Disc, despite being nerfed, still seem to be performing exceedingly well. More punts are going to be out here for Luciano. In this case, once he's got 2 StuGs out plus a Pack 40, he could consider maybe an Austrian to work with them to help deal with infantry. He could consider Panzer 4. Or I suppose he could try and be a bit crazy and go for Tier 4. Hope he's going a bit crazy. Dealing with the country got close here with support from StuG. German infantry advances successfully against the Russian lines. Forwards, men out! Diska falling back here, comes shining straight ahead to Leipzig. Oh, house collapses, a big loss there. So StuG was basically the one that crushed it. Ah, no. You have to be careful about that. That was quite a loss there for Luciano. Cost him a Grenadier squad. The light machine gun that has been dropped, the Grenadiers can actually pick it up, I believe. They can't upgrade 2 light machine guns, but they can pick up 2 light machine guns. And there you go, Luciano fight up with the Osman. Good choice here. For now, March to replace some resistance losses. He's just built more armor though. He needs more tanks. And you should consider trying to outflank Luciano here at this stage rather than trying to attack into the StuGs frontally, as that is very much where the StuGs rule supreme for the fatherland. Nothing quite as cool as a StuG with Schützen. Oh, he goes for the HD5 instead, going to try and outrange the StuGs. That's definitely a possibility as well there. There's definitely a possibility as well if Vonivan isn't in a flanky mood, I guess. Meanwhile, we got a flank going on here with the constant engineers. Nice move here, outmaneuvering Luciano's western positions. Catching his forces off guard. And here we go, StuGmen flanking the Diska Panzer as well here, catching them off guard. Even as another squad acts as bait and a decoy. And there we go, gets what the veteran 3 Diska machine can turn against Vonivan StuG, keeping assaulted by the T-34 or the M40 Sherman. Second StuG nearby. Of course, the possibility down plus the Pack 40 forces trying to pull back. The Germany can't push ahead here. Not grabbing the Diska. Western flank is slightly making better progress. The Sommerland's being pushed back here. As Vonivan or Luciano's bringing up the forces plus the Osman here. Should find almost done there. Constantly moving up there. More anti-tank grenades on the StuGs. Closing in on that StuG. And constantly pushing against the Panzer Grenadier here. Sniped here by the StuG. 8 kills for the fatherland. 18 on the other one. 16 infantry kills and 2 vehicle kills. And there you go, awesome as the HD5. Certainly alerting Luciano to the fact there's an HD5 tank still on the field here. Grab the Diska back for the motherland. Stalin. And there you go, Panzer going to successfully push back here by Vonivan's forces. Troops are healing and enforcing. Katyusha slowly approaching the Veterans. Shem's going to need repairs. The does have plenty of infantry to help repairs. Plus, of course, some engineers. Could consider laying down some more mines for whatever he's got at hand, you know, regular mines, flare mines. Luciano finally going for Doctor. At this stage, feels rather late, but he goes for Blitzkrieg. 7th Panzer Division going up for the final push for the fatherland. Don't worry, Leute, this will all be over by Christmas. You've been saying that for the last 2 Christmases. Well, this Christmas, you know, the 3rd Christmas, it's totally gonna work. Just trust me. Nothing bad at all can happen. Ever. A bit of quiet here. StuGs are back for repairs. He's only got 1 pioneer squad, makes it much difficult for Luciano to get them all battle ready fast. And in theory there, Vonivan is using this to just push it against Luciano very efficiently. He could easily drop in more fuel to speed up the arrival of the 2nd M4C Sherman. You should definitely aim for as many as possible. His elite consuls here, the Vetsy 3 ones, heroes of the Soviet Union. Fighting away there with their pilfered German machine gun. The heavy cover there might make things difficult. They should probably work on Molotov that place. Here, constantly being assaulted by Panzer Grenadier. Sturmgewehr certainly outpowering the Molotov. Oh! No cigars and Pan Grenade! Oh! Almost got him baited into taking a full wipe there. Damn close there by Luciano. Damn close. Impressive. There you go. Sherman moves in, shoots through the hedges, gets a good hit there. Still nothing further in terms of supply drops. More mines would be an idea there for Vonivan though. And there you go. Got a supply drop in. StuG setting out there. Almost 32, which means more shoots. He pops smoke there. I think that was a misclick by Luciano. Or he's trying to shield the Panzer Grenadiers behind the wreckage of the tank, maybe? Hard to say there. But takes a nice hit. That seems a bit over the waist there. Luciano needs to change the map up there a bit. He is quickly falling behind victory points here versus Vonivan. StuG opening up there. Another T-34 on the way for him. And a direct hit from the HD5. Demo. Oh, that's MB40. I briefly thought that was a demo charge, actually. So for now, he is keeping Luciano penned in here quite nicely. And of course, Luciano himself might also consider launching a larger scale assault, and that way trying to flank up behind Vonivan's forces, catch them off guard here using the StuGs. He could maybe support all of this with a command tank, and then as all this happening, uses a stupid close air support call into that way, just completely, you know, catch Vonivan in the kill zone. Now the deep flank here with the conscripts, very good work there. And another T-34 out here for Vonivan and the 5th Guards Tank Corps. Grabbing the point here. Veteran 344 in the centre with 13 kills versus the conscripts with a 24. Recruiting the other one. Vonivan missed a turn. I think opportunity to grab that one as well. Actually, turn against Luciano. Vonivan's armor seems rather passive at the moment. He's obviously worried about the StuGs, but I don't know. Feels like he could be doing at least more on the west side. Therefore, for Luciano to then shift everything towards there to counter, and then he could maybe make a push there closer to Luciano's base. But there you go, StuG charging into the HD5. He's going in full bore here, and it's catching Vonivan completely off guard. Clearly, he did not anticipate Luciano to just make such a head-on assault there. I certainly wouldn't have, but in this case it actually worked out because Vonivan was either not paying attention, completely shocked here by the boldness of Luciano's Sturm, and just throwing off Vonivan entirely. I mean, that's definitely one way to use StuGs, so I would describe it as incredibly risky. We see now Vonivan there seemingly having had enough of that discharges for the promise. He's still dealing with David. Some StuGs got air support called in here. Almost got the M4C Sherman there. Down it goes. Ace StuG up. StuG flying in and starting up the crew there a bit. Or blinding it. And they can't shoot. Got the StuG, but he almost lost his T-34 for this. That was definitely ill-advised assault there by Vonivan. Charging straight into StuGs after they just forgot something there. Even if they're a bit damaged, and in this case caught off guard with the stupid close air support, at which point it was really just not very good there for Vonivan. Of course, he couldn't know that Luciano had gone for that one, though he could have considered it. I mean, there were 2 doctrines with the ability there, so the likelihood of Luciano having access to stupid close air support, though, was pretty high. Katyusha firing here at the Ostwind, it seems. 72 points left here for Luciano. Barely any infantry. Vonivan is not looking much stronger. This force has also been heavily depleted here by Luciano. But again, that assault there really was, I think, too costly for Vonivan. And now we go. Command tank going after here the Katyusha rocket launcher. This is Friedrich. We put Stalin's organ out of commission. He'll have to enjoy German music from now on. Grab the center victory point there, trying to get that beat going there in Luciano. Consul setting out there. Almost got another infantry Sherman ready here. It's looking pretty rough there for Vonivan. Ground to tank grenade there. 22 kills in that StuG, by the way. Osborne doing as much damage as can. He almost got the Sherman ready, but it's going to take some time for it to get there. And meanwhile, he's basically pinning all of Vonivan's base forces down inside his base, more or less. Oh dear. Machine gun crew entirely annihilated. Sherman seconds away. Anti-tank grenade off of the command tank. Need to get them up behind some structures, something else. Oh dear, he's going to lose a squad there. And there goes Sherman arrives, goes straight for the Ostwind here. Conscripts being annihilated. Smoke popped here, which helps the conscripts also not get annihilated. Troops are pinned down by the MB42 by the fuel point. Ostwind down, but there's still the command tank there with 8 kills. And a load of dead people inside Vonivan's base then. It's a lot of manpower basically had to spend doing nothing but keep his squads intact there. So it can't immediately just push it further from that. So Vonivan's in a rather sick situation, going for another T-34. Definitely not a bad choice. Ooh, MD42 lost sight here of it. And there we go. Got the victory point there. Bleed is back on Luciano. Molotov off against it. Stu waiting at the entrance to the base of the ace. Blitzer CoH2. Interesting enough, he's not going for the victory point first here, but he's going for the fuel point. Rather than, you know, maybe the priority of the victory point, which he's incredibly low on. Pioneer's getting blasted there by the Sherman. T-34 there for Vonivan. And he kills on the MD-42. Target weak point. Blinds the Sherman crew there. I believe they actually got around to applying that, you know, little fixer to make target weak point a lot more, shall we say, reliable on stuff like the StuGs, which is good. Sherman about T-Fed forming up behind the command tank here. Damage taking the StuG. T-54 going enough for the command tank. Almost got it. Oh, shots missed and StuG demoing in. Ah! Forcing them and then the T-54 so close here for Vonivan. So close. Still rushing for those victory points. Still trying to get that bleed there on Luciano. Might want to pull a Molotov around. Oh, we said they got a bomb grenade. And for now, they retreats immediately, not wanting to risk it. Two-swing hit a T-34 recruit. Took it out. Pack forward in trouble as well. Need to prioritize the StuG there. Command tank opening up. Once the StuG is out maneuver, that's going to be some deep trouble there for Luciano. Almost got the command tank. Oh! Command tank down. StuG in there. Dire straits. Another command tank called out. Target weak point there. Sherman in trouble now. 46 points. Demo charge in the center. Victory point. He's running into it. Is he actually baiting him into it by pretending there's not a demo charge there? I think he is. Command tank stalling the Sherman. There we go. Almost wiped the Panthers. One survives. One survives. Got a second command tank. Victory 2 on the Sherman. Oh, he's going to get the StuG. He's going to get the StuG. 9. Not the StuG. 9. Gets it. And there you go. GG from Luciano. An intensely close fight here between Luciano and Vonivan. Good Lord. Bit of a weak start there from Luciano, but turned into a strong mid-game there as Vonivan's made a few slip-ups there, and of course he showed the true power of the StuG in the end game there. Vonivan just turned out to be a bit more slippery, and of course he just had such a big advantage that Luciano's forced perhaps play a bit more risky. Though I do think Luciano could have benefited from a doctrine sooner, and I think in this case he would have benefited more from, I think, Lightning War with relief infantry, some other bits to just provide him with more support. His doctrine unit here felt in some ways a bit weaker. He should also not have split up his StuG, so I think that was another big mistake generally there against Vonivan. Was then quickly able to isolate the StuGs and deal with them in several cases. That's something a bit more worrisome there. So there you go. But again, you know, certainly highlights the conscript are certainly a lot more reliable and nasty there again. Sort of just strengthens the Soviet early game, but certainly puts a lot more pressure on the Wehrmacht. And yeah, that's definitely something there worth keeping in mind. But for now, I think executed a good early strategy. Make good use of the strength of the Soviets. They sort of slowly push ahead there. There were some issues. There's some kerfluffles with, again, hotkeys there, but he was able to overcome that pretty rapidly and began churning out a mix of T-34s and M-40 Shermans, putting serious pressure down Luciano, who, while to an extent was pushing back there, I think overall lacked mind to really slow down all of the tanks. He had some down, but I think never quite enough. S-Mars have also been great. There may be some machine gun bunkers that way slowed down for Vonivan. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed today's match. If you did, you know, subscribe, like, share, and comment on it. Of course, a big thanks to all those who support me on Patreon. A big thanks to all of you. And this is Imperial Lynching. Cheers, and see you all tomorrow for another exciting episode. Bye.